Shalom, shalom, everybody. Shalom. Welcome, all the good people. Right. So I'm gonna get straight into it. Today's topic: accountability. The dreadful word accountability. Right. Everyone says, "Hey, I know about accountability. I know this. I know that." Let's just run through it because all good things is practiced. Right. Accountability typically is neglected day to day on people, society. Right. They People have a tendency of passing on all the responsibility, on all the outcome based upon someone else or circumstance or luck not being in their favor. And when we do that, when we say that we can't do anything about it, it puts us in a state of perpetual defeat. It puts us in a place where we can't overcome because we limited ourselves, right? So when we look at accountability, people say, well, I can't control whether it rains or snows or if the sun is out, if it's cloudy like today, right? Yes, we can't control these things. We can't even control how other people react, right? But we can control our own reactions. And people don't put enough vest in that. Like, for instance, this channel, small, very few views. I can't really control that. But what I can control is content quality, consistency. And what comes, comes, and what goes, goes. We need to start pursuing things for the journey and the results, not just for the results. We understand that everything takes time, but we never put time into these things. We don't hold ourselves accountable. We don't hold the line, the standard, right? We want everything to come easy. But everything that comes easy goes easy. That's what it seems, at least, right? Um, and another thing is this: with accountability and with our own reactions, right? We have a massive impact, massive amount of influence. And the only thing when people want to stop counting themselves accountable is when something fails. Everyone says, "Yeah, I was the one who came up with that plan, or I was the one who held the line and was able to fulfill the task at hand and save the team." But when everything goes wrong, no one wants to take accountability. And that's when accountability matters the most. When learning can take place, when growth can take place. There's very few things you can learn from success. There's a bunch of things you can learn from a failure, even if it's one vitally important message, which is don't do it again, or don't handle it this way or that way, right? See, and another reason why a lot of people don't want to take on accountability is the perception of accountability. People, how they perceive it. Oh, well, I don't want to have to control this or control that. Once again, you can only control your reactions to things. And the way you react has an influence, right? See, I'll be insane to tell you, hey, go over there and force those people to do this and that. It doesn't really work like that. What you can do is incentivize and to provide a strategy for these people who have a common problem. And some will come, some won't. You can't control that. That's not you being not responsible for getting everyone that comes. You can only influence people. But your influential power comes from how accountable you are. See, for instance, I probably should have used this example for controversial reasons, but I'll use it anyway because it's humorous, right? If our current president told us, hey, you know what? Let's all go north because of X, Y, and Z, right? There's going to be a huge amount of people who don't want to go north because of X, Y, and Z because they don't see the president as accountable. And others will follow because his ideals lines with theirs, but his walk particularly don't, right? So I want to get back to the head of this, right? I want to talk about perception with accountability. And my greatest example of a perception is the difference between fear and excitement. See, when we fear something, we want to run away, we freeze, right? We tremble. And when we're excited, we're joyful, we're looking forward to it, and we're anxious, but in that aspect of trying to follow out what we perceive to be the future, right? But you know what? You want to know something that's interesting? Is that fear and excitement in the body has the same exact chemical reactions, same hormones and pheromones being released. The only thing that's different is your outlook, is the way you see it. And with that being taken into account, you can be fearful or excited about the same exact thing, right? So it's all a matter of perception. Accountability, being responsible, is something that we should strive for, right? Because that's the only thing that we have control over, right? That means that's the only way that we can actually grow, right? But as we're growing, we need to also make sure that we are looking and analyzing what is happening and making sure that we're not seeing things through a faulty lens. And that's where perception comes into play, right? So I just wanted to come here briefly and to talk about accountability and perception and how they can have a massive impact on us as individuals day to day. It's the difference between grinding out in a 9 to 5 to saving up for my dreams, my passions, my goals. It's the difference between drudgery carrying out conversation versus trying to network and see who you can build with. And with that in mind, I want you guys all for it to provoke thought and to provoke execution. Shalom and peace.